All right, welcome. In this explainer, we're going to follow the incredible journey of a wild bird, starting from a moment of crisis and going all the way through the tough decisions that determine its future. It's a story that tells us a lot about our own connection with nature, and it all kicks off with a simple question.
So picture this. You're out for a walk, you look down, and there it is, a tiny, helpless chick on the ground. Your first instinct is probably to scoop it up, right? Well, hold that thought. What you do in this exact moment could literally be the difference between life and death for this little bird. And the best choice? Well, it's not always the one that feels most obvious.
You know, when we think about wild birds, this is the image that comes to mind. Soaring free in a wide-open blue sky. It's this perfect picture of wildness and freedom. But the reality can be a whole lot tougher. A crash into a window, a sudden illness, or just a fall from a nest can leave a bird grounded, hurt, and totally vulnerable.
And that moment of crisis? That's exactly where this story gets started. This isn't just some abstract idea. It's a real-life drama that starts the second a bird's life intersects with our human world.
Yeah, these are pretty much the main reasons a wild bird winds up needing our help. They're not looking for us, they're found when they're in real trouble. Whether it's a baby bird that fell from its nest or an adult that had an accident, they're at their most fragile. And that's when the story takes a huge turn.
So, this brings us to the moment where we step in. You found the bird, you want to help, of course. But as we're about to see, just wanting to help isn't quite enough. That very first decision you make is absolutely critical.
And that's the key question, isn't it? That urge to rescue and take care of something is so powerful. But real help isn't about what makes us feel good. It's about what gives that bird the best possible shot at surviving and actually getting back to the wild. And that takes a little bit of knowledge, not just emotion.
So, what do you actually do? Just follow this simple protocol. First step, observe. Just watch from a distance for a bit. A parent might be right there just waiting for you to back off. Second, assess. Is the bird in immediate danger, like near a road or a cat? And third, and this is the most important one, contact the experts. Call your local wildlife center. They know exactly what to do. Okay, this is a huge one, so listen up. It feels like the kindest thing to do, I know, but please never try to feed or give water to the bird yourself. You could give it the wrong thing or it could choke. You could actually cause way more harm than good. Your job is just to be a safe link to the professionals, not to be the vet.
Okay, so you've done the right thing. You've gotten the bird to the experts. Now what? Well, now we get to go behind the scenes into the world of wildlife rehab. It's a long, careful journey, all with one big goal. Get that bird back out into the wild where it belongs.
Now, this is way more than just waiting for a broken wing to heal. We're talking about a super intensive process. It kicks off with a real vet diagnosis, maybe setting a tiny bone or giving medication. Then there's specialized food. I mean, for a tiny chick, it could be a special fluid diet. After that, physical therapy to get them flying again, and finally, the really critical rewilding and training.
And getting back to the wild is about so much more than just being physically healthy. The rehab folks have to basically reteach the bird how to be wild. Think of it like a training montage. They use big enclosures to practice flying, they hide food so the bird has to learn to find it, and they even use models of hawks or other predators to bring back that healthy fear. They're rebuilding a wild animal from the ground up.
But here's the tough part. Even with all this amazing expertise and effort, that goal of releasing the bird, it's just not always possible. Sometimes the injuries are just too severe. Or if a bird has been around humans from too young, it just gets too used to us to ever survive out there on its own.
And that brings us to the next chapter in this story. For the birds that can't go back, a new path has to be found. And this is where a life in captivity becomes the only responsible, humane option.
Now, the decision to not release a bird is never, ever made lightly. It's always based on a really honest look at its chances of survival. A wing that just didn't heal right, some lasting damage from an illness, or a total lack of fear of humans. Any of these things would pretty much be a death sentence in the wild.
And this leads us to a really big, kind of difficult question. We can give them safety, we can give them food and medical care, but for an animal that was born to fly free, can a life in an enclosure, no matter how nice we make it, ever really be called happiness? It's a tough ethical question that these caregivers think about every single day.
But even though it's not the wild, these places serve some really important purposes. These non-releasable birds can become amazing ambassadors for their entire species, teaching the public about wildlife. They might even get to be part of breeding programs to help save endangered species. And they let us do research that helps us protect the birds still out there in the wild.
Okay, so let's zoom out from the story of this one bird for a minute. All of these choices and actions happen inside a bigger system of laws and ethics that shape our relationship with wildlife. And understanding that system is key to how we all coexist. So in Japan, for example, you've got the wildlife protection law. And it's really clear you cannot just capture or keep a wild animal without official permission. This isn't just red tape, it's a law designed to protect whole ecosystems and to send a message: wild animals are not our property. And this gets into a really modern problem. Someone might find a bird and with totally good intentions start posting cute photos of it online, treating it kind of like a pet. Not only could that be illegal, but it sends a really dangerous message. It blurs that critical line between rescue and ownership, and that really undermines the whole point of wildlife protection.
And this slide, this gets to the absolute heart of the whole thing: the difference between protection and keeping as a pet. Protection is temporary. The goal is always to get the animal back to the wild. It's about respecting its wildness. Keeping a pet is permanent. It's for human companionship, and it fundamentally takes that wildness away. Getting this difference is everything.
You know, this quote from our source material just says it all, doesn't it? It's such a powerful reminder of what our real role is here. We're supposed to be temporary guardians, not permanent owners. The goal should always be to protect the wild nature of these animals, not to tame it for ourselves.
And so we end right back where we started, with a choice. From that split-second decision about a fallen chick, to understanding the laws that protect them, to even what we decide to post online. Every single thing we do sends ripples into their world. So the question for all of us is, what kind of ripples are we going to make?